The history of the village of Liptál is hidden somewhere in the gloom of bygone days. The oldest written version of the village name dates back to 1361. The picturesque valley was then called Liptál. Later, this mountainous Wallachian country was called Liptál, a German name for nice valley, which is surely a mark of admiration to this scenic piece of world. The first settlers were farmers who settled on the banks of the local stream Rokitenka. The village started spreading gradually, and in 1666 there were 211 estates and 132 village houses. The village of Liptál extends in the valley that divides the foothills of Hostinské hills, with the highest top Chlévisko, that is 641 meters high, from Vizovice hills with Vartovňa, that is 659 meters high. The picturesque hillsides and valleys are dotted with both modern houses and typical wooden small cottages, hidden in the green of nature. Everywhere you can find industrious, kind and gracious people who are used to deal with hard life in Moravian Wallachia. There are unforgettable views of surrounding mountain crests, local beautiful nature and the village from many places. It is all the same if it is in spring, summer, fall or winter. It is because each season of the year has its own charm. Well, judge for yourselves. We would like to present you a village not unknown, the village that already commemorated the 640th anniversary of its foundation. As we mentioned in the beginning, its name developed, and after several changes it is called Liptál from 1955. In the beginning of the 21st century, Liptál has 1,420 inhabitants. There are 478 houses and 41 cottages and holiday houses. Liptál is a modern village and ranges among the important centers of Moravian Wallachia. It became world famous especially for its international folk festival, Liptál Festival, and this year it was already the 33rd festival held here, and it again welcomed performers from all over the world. Besides the wood processing, the agriculture was the main source of living of local inhabitants. Steep slopes, narrow valleys, and infertile soil were averse to the cultivation, and so people used a great part of the land for cattle grazing. On pastures and meadows situated at the foot of the mountains, you can still meet herds of cattle, sheep, and goats. We can name at least some of the most important private cattle breeders, such as Jan Vaculík, Zdeněk Mrlina, Pavel Vaculík, Josef Valchář, and Karel Obadal. There have been some important changes in the cooperative farm in Liptál too. At present, a modern cattle milking shed has been put in operation. The buildings where cows are stalled have undergone a great reconstruction as well. It is definitely good for the perspective and improvement of the quality of the traditional agricultural production in Moravian Wallachia. The industry found its way into this village at the foot of the mountains only very slowly. A producers' cooperative that aimed at keeping the traditions of the Wallachian folk art and also focused on providing good earnings for inhabitants of Liptál and surrounding villages was established. The name Liptál is known both on the domestic and foreign markets. The resourcefulness and dexterous hands have slowly changed the life of the whole village. Especially toys, rag wagons, thrones, grindstones, shelves, and flower stalls were typical products. The development of enterprise in the last 10 years brought the establishment of new, mainly private firms. The most important are Mave Liptál, Gešiko Liptál, Gom Liptál, and others. The last of the above mentioned is an exclusive supplier of the building material Durisol, and at the same time it provides technical consultancy to builders. It represents Liptál regularly at the most important home fairs of building materials and technology. The road transport is an important part of the firm. You can see some of the trucks of Gom Liptál on the roads and interstates all over the Europe. The tradition of the local handicraft production is represented by upholstery Petr Vaculík. In his workshops, he manufactures mostly upholstered furniture and home accessories. He has also his own shop where he sells his products. There are some smaller shops, such as Upholstery Kirchner, the main job of which is especially to repair the furniture and produce the made-to-measure orders. The firm Petr Marek, production of wooden replicas of historical cars, is admittedly a small one, but it is a unique firm not only in the Czech Republic but also in the world. Models are of the real dimensions, made of the Turkish and Siberian nut trees, mahogany and ebony, but also of Wallachian trees such as cherry, plum, pear, and all the trees. You can make sure that craftsmanship, dexterity, care, and immense love of wood, that was from time immemorial the base of living of local people, breathe from these beautiful products. It applies also to the exploitation and processing of wood as it is. In Liptál you can find several firms in this branch. The most important ones are Rofim, Wolfer, Danwood, Machala, and Sedidlo sawmills. The restaurant Uklesku, the restaurant Salis, or motorway restaurant at Sirákov are some of the restaurants that surely satisfy your needs, such as having a pleasant time, eating a good meal, or drinking a good drink. After 1990, the legal status of the village changed. The village became an independent legal subject with greater competence as well as greater responsibility. Liptál is led by a 15-member local council. The village budget is negotiated and approved at a public meeting of the local council, in which the inhabitants are greatly interested. Lately, more than 60 million Czech crowns has been invested in the village. Indisputably, the installation of the gas distribution system and building of the water mains from Vsetín range among the most important projects. Further, the elementary school, cultural and health centers were reconstructed, lodging house and many small projects such as pavements, roads, bus stops and so on were implemented. Since 1990, Mr. Miroslav Vaculík has been the chairman of the municipal council of the village.
Dovolte mě zahájit slavnostní zasedání zastupitelstva obce Liptál, které se koná u příležitosti 640. výročí první písemné zmínky o Liptálu.
At this meeting, the vice chair, Mrs. Aniška Eviáková, showed the public the village symbols, village coat of arms and flag, granted by the Parliament of the Czech Republic.
Dnešní slavnost to je vlastně představení vlajky a znaku Liptálu. Myslím, že svědčí o tom, že tato obec a její nasazení a i možnosti, které dělá, je mimořádně důležitá.
At this festive event, the MP, Mr. Zdeněk Škromach, and the chairman of the district council in Vsetín, Mr. Miroslav Mírný, greeted the present people.
Slavnostní chvíle, kdy obec Liptál uvádí do života znak a prapor obce a že se tak děje u příležitosti 640. výročí obce. Já bych si přál, aby v ní byli stále takoví lidé, jací jsou tu dnes, a aby to, co tady konají, co se jim daří, aby se jim dařilo i nadále.
A birth of a child is a great event in every family. However, it is an important moment for the others. Therefore, it is no wonder that the ceremony of welcoming little inhabitants became a part of the village life. A song from all the friends, a bunch of flowers for the mother. After being received by the chairman of the municipal council, after small gifts are given and names signed in the chronicle, the newly born inhabitants of Liptál are put in the cradle. And the first photos to family chronicles could be taken. The cameras and video cameras are quite common during this event today. The kindergarten was established in 1946. Mrs. Marie Šedlbauerová was the first headmistress, and Mrs. Eva Krausová manages it now. Approximately 50 children from Liptál attend this kindergarten. Except for many interesting events that are held in the kindergarten in Liptál, 2 fairy tales that the children dedicated especially to their parents are worthy of praise. You may watch now a future famous actor. Who knows? This is the building of the elementary 9-year school, which is attended by 174 children from Liptál, Vsetín, Lhota u Vsetína, and also from the children's home and special school in Liptál. This new school, built in the years 1975 to 1977 in the center of Liptál, provides finally the pupils and teacher staff with conditions comparable with those in the cities after the years of the provisional arrangement, which is proven by the fact that more than 1/3 of pupils in the school year 2001 and 2002 got a pass with honors. The school became a member of the Association of Czech Dalton Schools this year, and Mrs. Věra Halová is the headmistress. The pupils regularly take part in various cultural and social events. It was the same with the celebrations of the 150th anniversary of birth of Tomáš Garrigue Masaryk. His statue, created by the sculptor Antonín Chromek in 1968, had to be removed in the middle of the 70s. It was re-unveiled in its original place on March the 11th, 1990, and it is one of the most important sculptures in the village. The second work of art is the sculpture of the painter and writer Jan Kobzáň, created by the sculptor Karel Řezník. It is positioned in front of the Liptál castle, and in 2001 it witnessed a small centenary celebration of birth of this native of Liptál.